What's going on, my beautiful people? We are back again. Another episode here with the Newfie Growlers Draft to Glory series. And I should say, it's a new era for this team. Zachary Leroux leading the way. But we have gone with the strategy that we've seen in the past. And it is out of pure desperation. Last episode, I kind of talked about whether or not we were going to sign players until they were ready. But because of the lack of options available to us in the draft, I said, screw it. We got to force some of these guys to the NHL level and hope that we see some crazy development. So this is the team that we are rolling with here in this next season. We start off with Dustin Hutton alongside the previously aforementioned Mr. Leroux and Jordan Demay, I believe it is. Demay? I think it's Demay. Also on that line. Looking decent, honestly. I mean, granted, he was our 4th overall pick because he was the best player available, but still. Second line sees Cole Huckins alongside Johan Loshing, and Ivan has made the team. Third line, Justin Gill, Josh Lawrence, and Brady Burns. And a fourth line of Jakub Brabenec, perhaps, probably Brabenec, Alexandra David, and Mike Blunden has made the team because I don't have anybody else I can call up, really. We hit the max contract limit because I signed a bunch of veterans to play in the AHL. Defensively, we see Charlie Desroches next to Darius Rycroft. Second pairing of Connor Olson and Ben Rude. And a third pairing of Harris Brantz, and Oscar Blandowski. So, is it the best? No. Are we going to suck? Yes. Goaltender is going to be Nicholas Ruscia. I'm guessing it's Ruscia. He's going to play every single game this season because I turned off auto-rotate goalies. So he's going to have a very fun time. The AHL, for the most part, again, is made up of veterans. You have the occasional player like Maxim Barbashev here, and defensively, we also have somebody like Frank Jenkins, who didn't quite make the cut. So more of an emphasis on the team. Of course, I don't expect us to make the playoffs again, but certainly more of an emphasis on the team and what they might be able to accomplish. That said, the big talking point coming out of the last episode was what to do with the draft class quality, if anything. Now, I will say this. In terms of adding more teams to the available pool, probably not going to do that. I think right now, really, our big issue has been a complete lack of luck, and the comment section was a little bit divided. Probably a little bit more support in terms of making the quality better. But at the end of the day, we're going to stick with this for the moment. I don't think we'll ever add other teams, but if we get desperate enough, we will bump up that quality. But like I said, there were conflicting viewpoints, I would say. There might have been a little bit of extra more support for upping it now. We're going to take a look at this draft class and hope for the best, because if this is disappointing, this probably will be the last season that we go with here. Now, in the queue, we start off with 2 players inside the top 10. Unfortunately, Chase Ribeiro on Shawinigan's not available. We need Parks to be available here. He's not. He's on Rimouski. What about Traverse? 0 for 3 so far. What about Bergeron? Unavailable. He's on Gatineau. Pacioretty, also on Gatineau. And one more player projected in the first round. It's Cashman, also not available. Holy hell, our luck has been brutal. 6 players projected in the first round from the queue, not a single one from a Maritime Division team. What about Geet? Pierre Geet, also not available. Our first available player is Philippe Suave. Rico Suave, who, early second round pick. 17-year-old, I guess, defensive defenseman with that size. Manuel Dupre, the next available from QC. Rimouski again. We get our first player from the Halifax Mooseheads, Guy Boucher, so I would expect him to be a second-round selection of ours. Then we also get Marc Laperriere, so that's not too bad. I think first, second, and third-round picks right there, if it lines up for us. Could be decent. We also get a Moncton option, Pascal Duchesne. So, okay, we're getting some decent mid-round options at least. Just the high-end talent's not there. Not available there. Jean LeBlanc is available for a second. Is that like Kevin LeBlanc? No, it's LeBlanc. Tis LeBlanc. Gatineau again. Chicoutimi not available. Sherbrooke not available. Chicoutimi, Rimouski, Shawinigan, Quebec, Shawinigan. God, I had to scroll down forever to find Mario Dandino from the Sea Dogs. Drummondville, not there. Another Moncton player, Nick Friggin. Love to see that. Drummondville again. Ray Naranda. Gatineau. Mitch Holden. 222. Ugh. QC. Baikoma not available. Again, Chicoutimi. Valdor. All right. Well, Mark Solis from St. John. We are yet again going to have to hope that a decent amount of these players end up moving up the charts and that they become available to us. Otherwise, this could be a pretty poor draft in the back half of it. There hasn't been a single member of the Acadie Bathurst Titan, by the way, which is pretty disappointing. So, again, the top-notch quality players simply aren't there for us yet again. Upping the quality isn't necessarily going to help us. I mean, it would. Obviously, the guys we would have would be better, but at what cost, knowing that the rest of the league would be that much more difficult to beat? Rafael Boumediene available. So, yeah, I'm going to go through this whole list here, and I'm going to make sure that every single player is 100% scouted. Again, you used to be able to just go here. Okay, so now, wait, that's still working. Last episode, I swear to God, I tried that. Yeah, see, like with Buteau, I can't, never mind, I can't hit scout player. Oh, shit. Well, I could have selected all these guys as we went along. I'm going to make sure that all the players we want to scout are scouted to 100% accuracy, or at least close to it, and we'll be good to go. Francois Grenier, I swear, I tried to set this up to scout players from this menu in the last episode, and that option never came up. That is incredibly frustrating. But yeah, well, again, we'll take a look at every single person in terms of potential, and hopefully, again, a decent amount of these players can end up actually developing into decent options for us to select, whether in this draft or the next. But again, you see just how many players are way down the board here. Jake Furlong's 570. 570, for God's sakes. So I don't really like our chances. Our first member of the Titan, Jameson Camachi, 575. It's unreal. And we're not going to see how good he is because I hit the wrong button, and now we're way the hell down there. Screw it, let's go to the 900s. See what else we got here. Hayden Piero Zabadal. Again, every single player we're going to make sure that we take a look at here. So what I'm going to do from this point is, well, you know, I kind of want to see how the team does in the season. Feel free to skip ahead. We're going to stick with this because why the hell not, I guess. Maybe jump. The team's going to suck. I'll see you guys at the end of the season. We'll jump cut this. All right, we join this sim in progress here. 6 wins for the Growlers. We have 4 games left this season, but still a higher win total than I would have expected as we get destroyed by Winnipeg. The good thing is, of course, this does mean that we're going to have the #1 odds in the upcoming draft lottery, which, of course, was the goal. We do want to make sure that we have those early picks in the middle rounds to try and help out. But again, 6 wins on the season, good for only 16 points. A friendly reminder as well, I meant to bring this up at the beginning of the episode because I was going to mention these teams and certain jerseys. Again, we did a full rundown of all of the reverse retro jerseys that were revealed on Monday, so feel free to check out that episode. I go over every single jersey, what I like about it, what I don't, the best, the worst. So check that out if you haven't, as of course you would expect. Our offense was by far the worst compared to the best in Calgary. We allowed 6 goals against per game. This poor kid just got destroyed. Oh, man. Let's take a look at the team, though. So forward-wise, Zach LeHou might have won the Calder, to be honest. 49 points, 20 goals. I mean, I know it was a -102, but damn. Ivan, not too bad. 41 points, 41 as well for Dustin Hutton. From there, DeMay looked okay. Lawrence and Loshing. You know, to be honest, I'm not totally upset with a lot of these point totals. A lot of guys hit double digits in terms of goals. fairly impressive. And then defensively, 30 points for Olsen and Charlie Desroches, which, of course, the plus-minus numbers are abysmal. Goaltending-wise, yes, 82 appearances. He was pulled 24 times. 24 times he was pulled this season. Poor Nicky Rue. Poor Nicky Rue. So that'll bring us to the entire league as McKinnon and Eichel, McDavid leading the way. Goal-scoring king was Nathan McKinnon, the only guy to hit 50 this year. And amongst defensemen, Cale Makar. The most points, goal-scoring king, was also Makar. For goaltenders, the winningest was Connor Hellebuck. Shutout leader, Philip Gustafson, and Connor Hellebuck tied at 7. Save percentage-wise, it's a Vezina for Connor Hellebuck, no doubt about it. And for the Calder, no, who did not win? Trevor Wong. Oh my God. How's that for a rookie season in Anaheim? Jesus. Who wouldn't even finish top 3 because of the plus-minus behind Seth King. So that is rough, although he did outscore Quentin Byfield. He's got that going for him. But yeah, ultimately, not too much that could be done there. So our season is over and done with. We will, of course, see who ends up winning the Stanley Cup this season. And then fingers crossed, of course, that the lottery luck goes our way. It'd just be nice to win another number 1 overall pick, even though we can do absolutely nothing with it. And then again, all of those players that we pinned, I still, as far as I am aware, I still think that if you try to draft a player who is projected beyond the 300s, their potential's not reliable. We might have to put that to the test in this episode here. We'll see how this draft goes down. It really is dependent on a few things. As the Buffalo Sabres have won the Stanley Cup. I believe that breaks the trend of Canadian teams winning. Indeed it does. So McKinnon won the Art Ross, Eichel won the Hart, Norris goes to Hedman, the Lady Byng to McKinnon, Wong won the Calder, Conn Smythe to Eichel as well, the Vezina to Hellebuck, as well as the Jennings, Yossi to Masterton, Jack Adams to CBJ's coach, O'Reilly wins another Selke, Jack Eichel to Ted Lindsay, and the Rocket Richard and Nathan McKinnon. In the AHL, Alex Goligoski scored the most points. The MVP was Jeff Carter. He also scored the most goals. I believe that's it's Josh Waugh, top rookie. How didn't he make the NHL? Goligoski was top defenseman. Top goaltender was Craig Anderson. The MVP of the playoffs was a goalie named Johnston for the Manitoba Moose. I'm not going to look at the Sabres. You know Jack Eichel led the way. Let's get down to business. The highlight of every episode. It is time for the draft, as we do indeed maintain the number 1 overall selection for as much as that matters, given the circumstances. Someone like Patrick Marleau retires, Ryan Getzlaf as well. We gave a lot of these guys a good opportunity here. Some big-time names retiring at the end of this season. Excuse me. Brent Burns, Duncan Keith also calling it a career. Henrik Lundqvist, along with Ryan Miller and Craig Anderson, also going. So cornerstones of the NHL for years and years retiring at this stage. A lot of them become coaches, which is not really all that surprising. With that, let's see how this goes. It is draft day. We need a little bit of luck here, please. Number 1 overall selection is ours. How good is the top player that we're going to be able to draft? How I wish it could be Ribeiro. But again, the top player is going to be way down here. It is going to be Philippe Sauve, I believe. Was he projected to be the top guy that we took? He definitely went up in the draft board because he was not projected to be a first-round talent, as far as I can remember. And then there's Guy Boucher. You have Duchesne dropping down to potentially a low top 6, which is a little bit scary. Again, I tried like hell to make sure we got full information on some of these guys, and we still didn't. So, I mean, a medium top 6 defenseman, it kind of sucks. He's well-rounded, has a Chara comparison. It says, unconfirmed 4 years out. But in terms of, who we have info on here, medium 9s, medium top 6s, it looks like that's what we're going to be finding here. I don't know how our scout didn't find anything on Darren Kearns, but sure. Unless I was looking at the wrong player there, which I might have been. So we're just going to have to go for it. We're going to take Suave, whatever the hell it may be, from the Cape Breton Eagles with the number 1 overall pick. Say hello to... I'm trying to think of who a good defensive comparison. Like, man, even like Chris Phillips would have been better than that. Regardless, he's a 62 overall. Medium, top 6. That is incredibly rough. Next up, we are looking at, and we have to make the right call here. We should be able to get LePerriere, so it comes down to Boucher or Duchesne. If you think about it now, 32 teams, we might just be able to still get Duchesne. So Boucher seems like the safe bet. Couple of B's in there, 4 years out, Thornton comparison. Whereas Duchesne's projected to be 3 years out. Interesting. Yet Boucher's higher up on the board. I'm going to go for Guy Boucher here from the Halifax Mooseheads. He is a 62, medium top 9. Will the other players still be available here? The answer is yes. So Duchesne is still there. But then it comes down to LePerriere and LeBlanc. So LeBlanc, decent point totals. 5 years out. LePerriere, okay point totals. C's across the board for the most part. 3 years out. Or then there's Duchesne. No doubt about it, we got to go for Pascal Duchesne here. We'll take another forward. How good is Duchesne? He is a low top 6. Which kind of sucks. We'll go back through that third round, though, and see if we missed. Oh, my God, just seeing 2 medium elite goalies go. And the aftermath of that is a low blow, to say the least. LePerriere was a 62, medium 6. And the other dude that we had pinned was a medium 9, and LeBlanc only a 57 overall. So still not the best draft in the world here. We're getting some decent depth that'll help this team in the future, but for the most part, it's still just not really there for us. Mario Dandino, Mitch Holden, looking like some of the top options. If we search here, this would be the time to put that thought to the test. These guys aren't confirmed, but Lefebvre and Fruits, both not projected to be all that good, to be honest. You do have Holden also 5 years out. Nick Friggin, also going to be 5 years out. Woodworth, yeah, it's a struggle. Marty Ronaldo, about 5 years out. Monador is a good shot from the point. He's 19, though. I feel like that gets overruled. And Dandino confirmed to the medium bottom 6. I feel like we have to take the one guy who's confirmed to at least be kind of half decent. So Mario Dandino from the St. John Sea Dogs will be the pick. He is a 58. And already now, as of the 5th round, we're going to have to hope for the best. So, I mean, we can't confirm it, but let's take Lefebvre. And we'll hope for the best with this guy. But he is projected to be way down there. And he is a low bottom 6, 49 overall. That's just lovely. Absolutely fantastic. Next up, it is Fruits. It is Holden. We'll probably go for Mitch Holden here. Same thing. We'll hope for the best. Medium bottom 6. No elite talent joining this team in this draft. That is not to say that these players couldn't be useful for us in the future. But obviously, it's a star-driven league, and we're going to need a star at some point to help put us over the edge. Devin Fruits will be the selection here, and Mr. Fruits is awful. So not great, and it will certainly continue to be a polarizing topic of discussion. Do we up the quality here, knowing that it's really honestly, it's going to backfire? I think the best we can do is to not up the player quality in terms of like, okay, how many high-end talents are there? Because that is, of course, what you can do. You can set the limit for how many high-end talents there are. I think the big thing that we would want to do here is up the strong draft, right? As opposed to more high-end prospects, right? I think the amount of high-end prospects that are in right now are fine. You are seeing, quite a few players, getting into the league, especially, some of those medium elites in the second and third round. If you wanted more of those, potentially stretching into the fourth round, that would be the reason to go up there. And of course, the top half of the draft would be stacked. But I think now that overall draft class quality might just have to go up to high sooner rather than later, because the players that we're being stuck with, because for whatever reason, apparently the Maritimes never developed good talent according to this game. At best, it's one more draft. We're already heading into 24-25. And needless to say, this team still has some issues. So we'll see what happens. We might update that. We might just be forced into making that move. At the very least, though, I hope you enjoyed this episode. You know the deal. Check out everything in the description. Support the channel. Thank you, if you do, for supporting me. And, of course, a shout-out to those of you on Patreon. I love every single one of you. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. There was an episode up of the two-way forward, two-way defenseman only challenge up on that platform yesterday, so check that out if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next one. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy. Stay safe. And just drink it.